Hello and welcome to Business Insight Fredericton. I'm Krista Ross, CEO of the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce.
Let's get to our first award of the evening.
Recently, the Fredericton Chamber hosted our annual Business Excellence Award event, which saw the top 3 finalists in each of 8 categories vie for this sought-after annual recognition. In this episode, we'll meet some of the award recipients. First up, in the Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals nonprofit category, is Habitat for Humanity. So tell me about this picture.
Yeah, so that's Michelle and her 6 children that moved into the home that we built in Oromocto, finished that home last year.
First of all, tell me, what is Habitat for Humanity?
Well, Habitat for Humanity, as we say, we bring communities together to help families build strength, stability, and independence through affordable home ownership. We build homes, we partner with families, and again, help families to make that transition to affordable home ownership through our mortgage model.
Winner is, for the nonprofit, the Habitat for Humanity.
When Habitat for Humanity was called to the stage as the winner of the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Awards, the Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals not-for-profit organization, how did you feel?
We were thrilled. Quite honestly, I was a little surprised. The other 2 nominees, the Fredericton YMCA and the Fredericton Library, have been doing some fantastic work in the community as well. But like I say, we were thrilled.
When you decide to build a home, tell me what's involved in the process.
Really, it starts with fundraising, as we have to have certainly a critical mass of our fundraising done before a project starts. Second to that, it starts with looking for land, and ideally, and in almost every case, it starts with a land donation. So once we have some of the funding secured, once we have the land secured, then we look to partner with a family. So we start the family selection process, and then once the family's selected, then they jump right in. They're part of the process, so they're volunteering some of their time as well. And then we're recruiting for volunteers that come out and work with us, whether it be for a few hours or for a day, or in some cases a full week.
At the end of the day, you're helping a family find a safe, affordable place to live. That must be incredibly rewarding.
It is. It really is. And knowing the families, meeting the families, and seeing the difference it makes to them to actually go into a settled, proper home, and just the joy in their hearts when they see it.
Do you have a lot of repeat volunteers? Do you have people that want to help in build after build after build?
We do. So we have a lot of regular volunteers. So it certainly is a combination of long-term volunteers, one-time volunteers, and then repeat volunteers for sure.
When you think about the beginning of the process, the fundraising, how do you raise funds, and how much do you have to raise for an average build?
How we do it, it's a combination of things. So one of our fundraising tools is our Restore.
This is the kick plates for the
Right. That goes on the bottom.
Put them on the bottom of your door.
Right.
So Restore is certainly one of our key fundraising tools, and it's actually a Canadian-born initiative as well. That's focused on donated product. Everything in the store is donated. There's building materials that are still perfectly good and would work well for someone else. We receive those as donations. We actually provide tax receipts to the donors for the value that those items sell for. And then they're sold in the store at discounted prices to the public.
I go home and I think of all the people that we have helped and more that I want to help, and I just want to help grow this whole organization if I can.
And then those proceeds from the Restore go towards the work that we do. Second to that would be going out into the community with for whether it be corporate donations, individual donations, foundations, those kind of things. Another key part of the funding for our builds is our existing group of families. And all of those families, of course, are repaying, are technically purchasing their own home, but those funds are going toward building new homes.
So you've talked a bit about the types of fundraising and how you raise money. How much money is needed for an average build?
Well, a combination of in-kind donation and cash donations. Our average project would cost somewhere in the area of $150,000 to $180,000.
Wow. So
that's without land.
So $180,000 plus the land sort of thing. So it's a big undertaking each time that you do it. I'm interested in hearing more about how the mortgages work for the families. So the houses are all done based on donations and contributions. So you set up a mortgage for the value of the home and they make a repayment plan which goes back into the program. That's
Exactly.
awesome, and it probably gives people a great sense of ownership. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so like you said, once the home is complete, we have a professional appraisal done on that home, and that becomes the mortgage amount with the family. Affordable homes is a huge challenge here in Fredericton and right across the country for that matter. And we're able to build safe, decent, affordable homes, and not just affordable to build, but affordable for the long term.
So I know that Habitat for Humanity is an organization that is not based just here in Fredericton. Tell me about the size of the organization.
Well, across the country, there's 54 what we call affiliates. So it's a federated model across the country. We have a national office that helps us with branding and communication and some of our fundraising. But then there's each individual affiliate act independently across the country.
So every organization faces challenges. What are the challenges for Habitat for Humanity?
Challenge number one, like many or most nonprofits, is fundraising. We'd love to be building more homes. We have every intent of building more homes. But of course, each one of those is a large investment. Second to that would be donations of land, and I'll say donations of land in areas that we really want to be building in. Again, we want to focus on affordability, so we want to make sure that we're building so that family is able to live an affordable life.
So what would you say your goals are for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years?
In the next year, we certainly plan to be building 6 homes, the bulk of those in the Fredericton area, but our service area is western and northern New Brunswick, so some of those will also be in that region of the province. And as we look into the future, we have plans for further growth.
So lots of times people give advice. Some of it's helpful, some of it's not. What's the best advice you've ever received to help you in running Habitat for Humanity?
Without question, it's about surround yourself with experts.
So aside from surrounding yourself with skilled people and a good team, what advice would you give to other not-for-profit organizations?
We have to be involved in the community, and quite honestly, we have to work together as well. And in the end, we finished with a home dedication event. Everyone that's taken part in that build is invited to, along with the family.
Do you have room for more volunteers?
Absolutely.
Okay. We return to Business Insight Fredericton. In this segment, we'll continue with our Business Excellence Awards winners, and you'll meet Opportunities New Brunswick Business Person of the Year, Sarah Holyoke. We're sure you'll agree with the judges. She's a very worthy recipient.
So, like I said, this is going to be the new lobby bar in the space. We are doing a totally repositioning of our food and beverage restaurants. This has been a pretty substantial renovation. Anytime there's a renovation, it can be tough. It's tough on our employees. It's tough on our guests, number one. So far, they've been incredibly flexible because I think they're really excited to see what's behind this great big wall.
Tell me how you came to be the general manager of the Delta Marriott.
Well, I've worked here at the property for 20 years. I started in food and beverage, and from there I went into human resources and worked for our corporate office for the ownership group. I became the regional HR director, and then I totally missed operations, and somebody asked me to go to another property that frankly nobody else wanted to go to, And it was potentially career limiting to go to this property, but it ended up being the best decision of my career. Then the opening came available here at the hotel, and I was pretty young, and I wasn't quite sure if I was going to get it, but I thought, well, you can't get a home run if you don't get up to bat. So I applied, I got the job, and I think it took like 2 or 3 years for me to figure out, oh my goodness, I'm the manager of the Delta Fredericton. And it's been 13 years later, and here I am.
So you've been here a long time.
Yeah.
What do you attribute your longevity here? Is it your team attitude, the culture you've created, or is it just about the numbers?
It's definitely not about the numbers. It's certainly about the people. I have gained very good friends as I've grown up through the hotel. Being in the industry, living in Fredericton, I would say that this is probably the best place for me anyways, to have a hospitality career.
Sarah Holyoke.
Recently, you were chosen as the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce Opportunities New Brunswick Business Person of the Year for 2019. How did you feel when your name was called?
Shocked.
Business
I
Person
was
of the Year, Sarah Holyoke.
excited and kind of proud of myself, and my parents were there, and I could see how proud they were. Yeah, it was pretty fantastic.
That award recognizes your leadership within your business that you operate. So you personally have won some other awards. Tell me about those.
A TIMB award back in my HR days. I was the first person to win a Human Resources Award for a training program that I created for our company. I have won Leader of the Year for Chip Hospitality, which was our ownership group across Canada. We have won Hotel of the Year for Delta Hotels Canada. I'm most proud of the awards that our team wins, and many of our leaders have won various awards. The hotel has won the Chamber of Commerce Large Business Award twice since I've been the GM here, and that's certainly I had more pride in that almost than I did the Business Person of the Year.
Tell me a bit about your management philosophy.
I believe in hiring people better than you. I really believe that attitude is everything. Everything else can be learned in this industry. We're not putting people on the moon. So we're about servicing our guests.
Sarah's been a fantastic leader. I used to be the chef here, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to do something different, and she took a chance on me, and she's helped mentor me to get to the next level. She directs me and shows me where I got to go. She's the hardest working employee we have at the hotel.
She's an excellent leader. She really works with individuals to create personalized development plans and gives you the ability to work on your own and then kind of check in and then see what you can readjust and then continue to move forward.
So tell me a bit about how the property is involved in the community and how you personally are involved in the community.
We've supported over the years many different community initiatives when it relates to children. So Marriott has a big partnership with the IWK and CMN hospitals. We also have done a lot with the Brain Tumor Foundation most recently. The Fredericton Emergency Shelters in the past. I'm working presently with the Chalmers Foundation. We also have partnered over the last probably 6 years with Leo Hayes and have been a big part of the Feed the Lions program and the backpack program. So our team will go over to the school and pack backpacks once a week so kids can have food over the weekend.
So sometimes in our career we get some advice. Some of it's not so good, some of it's awesome. What is the best advice that somebody has given you?
Another gentleman that I worked for, Ian Hurst, he always used to say, don't crash a plane by yourself. So typically with big decisions, I always tell my employees in orientation, if you're not quite sure how to handle something, grab a buddy, grab a colleague, ask them, what their opinion is, make decisions together. I believe that with my senior leadership team as well.
Tell me your thoughts on work-life balance.
I have been called a workaholic in the past. I do believe in work-life balance, and I think now that I've been in my role a lot longer, and I've realized, and I think maybe it's maturity as well, that the business doesn't need me 24/7. I actually had to go out a couple of times in the last few years for personal reasons, for extended periods, and the team just handled it.
So I know that you have faced some personal health challenges. Tell me a bit about that story.
In the middle of the night, I had a grand mal seizure. It was determined that I had a brain tumor, and I had brain surgery actually the night we won the large business award here at the hotel. And what I learned from it all is that my team helped me get through that. Obviously my family and friends, but the team here at the hotel allowed me to look after me. Then in 2017, my tumor came back. Throughout all of this, I've had to do a lot of treatment, and I came back to work pretty early the first time, and that probably wasn't so great for me. I work because it keeps my mind very occupied. It makes me feel normal, and these guys have got my back.
So in the next 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, what goals have you set for the hotel?
Every year we do a strategic plan as a leadership team. We're typically focused, some years we have created new visions and new missions, but typically we are focused on the next 12 months. I don't like big action plans. I like to keep it simple because every day is so busy in the hotel industry and we don't ever close. So, and things change quickly. So we will develop those plans. We will evaluate them every quarter. I work with my senior leadership team. They present their plans. Everything is aligned with the brand goals as well. It's always a competitive market. So most recently, there's new supply that have been developed within the city. Not a lot of new demand. So that's challenging and can be a little hard on the ego if you drop a little market share. We're still the premier hotel in the community with over 100% market share. However, nobody wants to lose business, and we have taken a couple of knocks on the chin in certain areas. And you know, I think the key in that when that happens is to continue to motivate your team, continue to let them know that it's going to be okay.
We return to Business Insight Fredericton. I'm your host, Krista Ross. In the final segment of our show on the Business Excellence Award recipients, we will meet the CBDC Southwest Large Business winner, proving once again that in business, it's vital to have a great entrance into the market and, pardon the pun, a great exit plan.
Hi, it's Samantha Wood with Exit Realty. So 128 Foster Street.
The new listing came up over on Dunn's Crossing. I thought you might be interested in.
Well, we started in 1999. I was approached by a gentleman from Halifax, and he was selling franchises. So this company called Exit made another appointment with a franchise salesperson, and we met again in a couple of weeks and bought the franchise.
How long did it take before you had some people joining your team?
Well, right away, within a very short period of time, we had probably, say, 6 in total. So shortly after we got started, we rented some space down on Main Street. Then after about 5 years, we bought the land that we're in now and built the building we're in now.
So you started out in 1999 with about 6 real estate agents. How big is the company now?
We're around 80.
Your partner is Dave Soller.
That's correct.
How do you split up your responsibilities?
Well, it certainly have changed over the years. In the very beginning, Dave and I both sold. And I would say approximately in maybe in a third year, that as we start getting growing and getting busier, there was more to manage. And after several years, I became full-time manager. As we've grown, we've hired Dana Clowater.
I sold real estate for another firm for 13 years. Prior to that, I had a career in management as well with another company.
Exit Realty.
When Exit Realty Advantage was announced as the Business Excellence Award winner from the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce and CBDC Southwest in the large business category. How did you feel?
I was pretty proud. Nice to be there and see all the support that we had. It was nice to see that we had a large group of people there to really experience that evening, and because they worked so hard and they really deserve this.
We're used to winning awards. We win a lot of awards in our, since we started, but this was kind of special and surprised us. We knew we were maybe had a chance, but didn't really think we were going to win it.
So you have won some awards nationally, and I think maybe even internationally. Tell me about some of the awards that the company has won.
We have won the in Exit Realty International, which include all North America. We have won the top single grossing sales office in the Exit system, and we've actually been fortunate enough to have won it 13 years in a row.
Where do you see the company growing in 12 months, 3 years, 5 years?
We probably focus more on growing our market share than growing in numbers.
Okay.
I see us growing. Of course, over time, you'll have people who will leave the industry, so it's our role to replace those people and add to it.
We specialize in training new salespeople from scratch.
At Exit, when you join our company, you are recruited in or sponsored in by an individual, and it goes one level deep, but you can go as many sideways as you want.
So what are the challenges that you face in the industry and in this company?
There's certainly always a challenge, like from our perspective, dealing with our employees, because I don't like to say dealing with our salespeople, because we're all human beings, and when you're dealing with other human beings, we all have different personalities.
I know that Exit has a program called the 5 Pillars, and that has helped create your corporate culture. Tell me about the 5 Pillars.
So at Exit, we have tremendous training opportunities for our agents. We have great branding for them to go into the marketplace to make themselves successful. Our technology is second to none in the industry, and I use this finger because it's the family finger. It's a fantastic culture of family. We often describe ourselves as a family disguised as a real estate company. And last but not least, the rewards for working at Exit, both now and of course into the future, into retirement, and even as a beneficiary package to our survivors.
What do you think is happening currently with the New Brunswick economy, and how does that impact your business? And how do you think the business environment is in terms of being able to do business in this environment?
Our business doesn't always go with what the news is telling us. We're a very stable economy here in town.
So what about the business environment itself, the regulatory environment, the tax environment, those sorts of things? How do you feel that works for your industry?
In our industry, we've had some increases over the years with Canadian Mortgage and Housing have increased fees for people to get mortgages themselves if they're doing a high ratio mortgage. There's been also an increase with the land transfer tax.
When it comes right down to it, people are always going to buy and sell houses, so we have to adapt to those changes and work through them, and it's been working for us.
So tell me about the community activities that Exit Realty Advantage participates in.
We do promotions and stuff, and you're always conscious of any business is conscious of the charity and stuff, but it also takes these businesses in town, everything, or some of these charities wouldn't exist. So the business part of that is very important to the charities. We have at Exit, we have a new program that we put in place just in the past year. It's called Exit Cares.
So throughout our career, we get lots of advice. Some we take, some we don't, some good, some bad. What's the best advice that you've received in your career?
Really, it comes down to treating people with integrity, treating people the way they should be treated, be there for them, and because they are our best asset.
We're always looking for great companies with a unique story to feature on the show. If you have suggestions, please get in touch with us.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line